guys, Jeff Tomlinson here, your Northern Utah real estate expert. I would like to take a few minutes of your time to talk to you about a what I think is a relevant topic that I'm hearing a lot more about lately. And that is that buyers are going to tell me because of our interest rates, they're going to be putting all this money down on their loan in an effort to try to reduce the monthly payment. Sounds like a reasonable expectation or goal, but in reality, that's probably not the best decision for them. And that's what we're going to talk about, why that's the case, as well as a few other things. So my team and I are here to help our clients to be a savvy buyer. I feel like it's a responsibility that I have as a professional to help people become informed as what they can do to put themselves in the best possible positions. So some of these things we're going to discuss is typically what I'll do for my buyers. And the first one is closing costs. Many buyers don't really understand what they're used for and sometimes even get them confused with money down. Closing costs are completely different, and they are used specifically to help pay for fees and services that are incurred from the mortgage lender and other parties that participate in the transaction. Well, here's what I do. I get the sellers to pay the closing cost. How? Because I'll structure the offer so that the buyers do not have to pay for the closing costs out of their pocket. Instead, we can use those funds and other resources that we have available through that closing costs to use them to their advantage to improve the loan. So I'm going to explain some of that a little bit later to you. The next option is the no money down option. A lot of people aren't familiar with this, and that is that we have federal loan programs that do not require you as a buyer to bring any money to close. It's 100% financing if you need it, and we can show you how that works, and it's quite simple and very effective. The next thing is that we'll provide to you as a buyer is that we're going to get the sellers to pay you, the buyer, for your home warranty, which is a protection that if any mechanical thing happens to your home for the first year, that it will be covered by the home warranty, which is kind of a cool thing because you never know what could happen to your home. So why not get a little protection, especially if it's paid for by somebody else, right? The next thing we'll do exclusively for our buyers is that we're going to offer to you a reimbursement of your appraisal. So given that everybody has to have an appraisal when they're buying a home, we'll reimburse you. So that's another non-out-of-pocket thing. So you got the home warranty, no closing costs, and appraisal that you don't even have to worry about, right? Now, the most important thing I want to discuss is that money down option. So let's talk about the numbers. Buyers often tell me by putting their money down, they think they're going to reduce the monthly payment as well as the interest and so on and so forth. Well, what I've done is put a slide presentation together to specifically go over those numbers to show you exactly how that will benefit you or not benefit you. I think you're going to be really surprised to find out just what those numbers are going to tell us, because once you see what happens, you're going to change your strategy. Okay, so let's go and check that out. Okay, so what we're going to do is look at the calculations based upon a mortgage for an individual looking to purchase a home. And you can see we have 4,000 equals to 114,000. How so? Well, by choosing the right option, somebody can get a $114,000 benefit for just $4,000. And that's the money down that we're going to be discussing. So let's take a look at a traditional loan, such as a conventional for 30 years. So somebody's going to buy a home for $500,000 with an interest rate at 5%. Their monthly payment will be $2,684. Then you can see the total interest and the total payments for that time frame based upon those numbers, with no benefits to the buyer because the buyer hasn't done anything other than just get a standard type of loan. The next scenario is where a buyer puts down $50,000 towards the loan. As you can see, in the purchase price is now $450,000 with the same interest rate. The monthly payment has gone down to $2,415, and so has the total interest and total payment. So the buyer now saves $49,627 as far as the interest for the 360 months. But let's take a look at another one. Say a buyer now puts $114,700 towards the loan. We're going to see this come up again later, but I want to have you take a look at it. So now the loan amount is $385,300 with the same interest rate at 5%. And the monthly payment has obviously gone down to $2,068, as well as the total interest and payments. But if you look at the buyer, has saved $106,964 in total interest for the same 360 months. Okay, now here it's going to get a little bit more interesting as we move along. So let's say now the buyer decides to buy down his interest rate by 1% by putting $4,000 to do so, which is a practice that we support in our programs for our buyers. So the same purchase price, however, interest rate now is 4%. The monthly payment is $2,387. And as you can see, the total interest and total payments have gone down as well. But look at, the buyer has saved $106,930 in the same 360 month. Look how significant that is by just a mere $4,000. So let's try another scenario. Say the buyer wants to do the same thing with the $4,000 and buy the interest rate down, but also if they apply one additional payment each year, here's what's going to happen. Check out the $500,000 loan again, the 4% interest rate. The monthly payment has gone up a little bit because they're adding a little bit to that, which is $244 each month, or you can do it one-time annual payment, either way. But the total interest and the total payments have gone down significantly. Look at how much the buyer has saved. $186,000, $344. And not just that, they pay off the loan at only 306 months. Isn't that incredible? That is a huge number. That's nearly $200,000. So let's take the next scenario, and what we're going to do is we'll do no loan modifications at all, just as if the first one we did. But however, say now the buyer decides to make one more annual payment towards the loan. So the same $500,000, the same 5%, his monthly payment has gone up a tad just because of the difference of the adding the additional payment each month, or do it annually once again. But the buyer saved $84,000 on just that single approach, and he's cut the loan back by 304 months. So what does this all mean? Well, in summary, I have your traditional loan with you pay is $466,000 in interest for the 360 months. The second scenario that we talked about is somebody putting down $50,000. They've saved $49,000 and pay off their home in basically the same amount of time, 360 months. The third scenario, he puts down $114,000 on the loan, and he saves $106,000 in interest and pays it off at the same time. The fourth scenario is where they buy down the points with $4,000 to get them a 4% rate and saves $106. And if you compare that to number 3 versus number 1, that's where our equal statement came in from the beginning. $4,000 equals $114,000. Plus, they paid off the loan in just 306 months. If they go one step further, which is the most significant one, is that the buyer has bought down the interest rate. He's made an additional one payment per year, saved now a whopping $186,000, and he's paid off the mortgage in just 306 months. And then finally, just making the single payment annually or monthly, the homeowner can save $84,000 and cut the loan back to 304 months. So in summary, if, as we discussed, option 5 is clearly the biggest saving option available. Yes, people say, well, I can invest the difference and put it in some stocks and bonds. You certainly can, and you might get a greater return. However, we don't want to involve it in those kind of things. That's a whole nother program that we could look at with a financial planner. But staying just to the mortgage aspect, why would anyone put money down towards their mortgage when the benefits of reducing the payment or saving interest is not beneficial or advantageous to their financial situation? It is simply a bad decision, and the numbers have told us that. So I hope that you can see that this illustration can be used to your advantage if you are proactive about it, and that once again, putting a bunch of money towards your loan is not the best approach as being a savvy buyer. Now you know why I never recommend putting money down on your mortgage loan. It's just not effective. It's not a wise use of your time, your resources, or anything, right? Numbers don't lie for the most part, and these aren't manipulated in any way, just purely done on a calculation. Now, not to mention the fact that if you put all that money down, how are you going to get to it? How are you going to pull it out of your home in the event of a financial emergency? Especially if you've lost your job, you're not going to be able to pull that money back out and use it to pay bills, because if you can't qualify because of a loss of job or some other kind of issue, that money is now tied up into your home. You can't get access to it, so you've now put yourself in a bad situation. Why not keep those funds in emergency for reserves or whatever the case may be, okay? So hopefully that you found that this video was very helpful, useful, and that you can tell others about it, you can use it, or whatever the case may be. But this is some of the typical stuff that I'll do for my buyers because I know how important buying a home is. So until next time, you guys have a great day, and contact me through any kind of my social media, through my cell phone, emails, whatever it may be, because I'm always here to help you in your real estate needs. Thanks, and hope you have an awesome day.